Hi, it's Cindy again. So today I'm going to be talking about whether you might want to use digital tools or if you would like to use paper. There are so many options, especially for in-person classroom teachers. You can use either or, which is pretty exciting. For myself, I currently work in an online environment, and so that means that I lean digital, which is what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you a couple of digital tools that you could potentially use that are excellent for collaboration. Of course, you can always use the classics, which are chart paper, which are those sticky notes that are amazing, that those huge sticky notes that you can paste on the wall for certain things. And for a routine like claim support question, that might be something that I would choose to do if I were in person. It would get students up and moving around the room. I could have multiple stations around the room where students are starting at one and maybe they have one topic or one thing or one paragraph of text they're supposed to focus on, and they have to think about what is the claim, what is the support, and then does it seem to match up? Does it seem to work? I mean, honestly, as a former ELA teacher and a former social studies teacher, I can think of so many different ways in which to use this routine. Now, here's the thing though. What if I want to take it digital? Like if you're in an environment like I am, where it's all online, or if you just want students to collect their thinking maybe on their own, or maybe with a partner or a small group or something like that, you could definitely do it digitally, especially if you're in a one-to-one district where students all have some kind of a device that they're using, like Chromebooks or whatever. Okay? So, what I did here is I was taking a look and I went, okay, well, there's this piece of writing the claim on chart paper and blah, blah. That's like the in-person traditional method, which, hey, it's a great method, right? If you have that available to you. But if you want to keep it digital, or if you want all students in the room to be able to review and look back at other students' work and that kind of thing, maybe later on down the line where you no longer want those chart papers all over the room, this could be a good way to go. So what I did is I went over to Gemini, and the prompt that I used is I said, I would like you to create a chart that students can use as they go through this process, and then I name the routine. So you could change it up based on whatever routine it is you're doing. The description I found of what that might look like is this, and I copied in from right here, I copied and pasted in the text from the actual routine because I thought, well, why not? They described it pretty well. And then here's what it did for me. Now, what I'm doing in Gemini, though, that you should be aware of if you have this tool available to you, is I put my prompt in here, but they've got these other options down below. They've also got how fast you want it to generate for you. For this one, I put it on thinking. Okay, I wanted it to take a little bit longer to process if it needed it. You can add files if you need to, which is fantastic. Like if there's a particular text you want to add into the mix or whatever, you can put it there. But the main thing for this is if I wanted to create some kind of a graphic organizer or some kind of a graphic, I'm going to put in Canvas. And this is true too if you ever want to generate a set of slides. It works, okay? So you hit Canvas, and once you have that in there, then you go ahead and you enter in your prompt, whatever it may be. So I got this, and this is what it created for me. Now, if I didn't like this and I wanted to change some things about it, like the supports and the questions, I might want it instead of columns. Maybe I want supports first and then questions underneath, or maybe I want there to be fewer spaces for questions, like maybe just one or two would be sufficient, because I don't know if students would really be able to generate 5. It depends on the text or the material it is that I give them. And then for supports, 5 might also be a bit much. I might chop it down to maybe 3. I don't know, it just depends. But I do like what it added here in terms of reflection or next steps and instructions for the student. I kind of like those things. So then all I have to do is take it over and, oh no, it's under this. It's under share and export. So I can export it straight to Docs, which is fantastic. Okay, and then load it into Google Classroom or whatever other platform I might be using. So that's one thing you can do. Now, another thing I wanted to show you is around this routine, which is your other option for this week. I love both of these routines, but I do have to say I have a special affinity for compass points. I love it. So it has what excites you about this idea or proposition, what's worrisome to you, what do you need to know, and then what's your stance or suggestions for moving forward. There's a lot of different ways in which you can use this routine. If you're not 100% sure, you might check with AI and say, hey, I'm thinking about using compass points, but I'm not sure. I teach social studies. How exactly might I use this routine? And these are the units that are coming up. What are some ideas that you might have for that? And see what it says. If it says something great, good. If it doesn't, you're like, okay, this is garbage. Let me think about it some more on my own. Or you can banter back and forth either way. So, but for compass points, again, because I live in a digital world, yes, you can use chart paper for this kind of stuff and put it down in the center of a table and have groups go after it for the different quadrants, whatever. Maybe even have the 4 students rotate around where one of them starts on E, one of them starts on W, and so on. That could be a really fun activity, right? And get them up and moving. If you're in the digital land like I am, you might do something like this. You might go into Canva and say, okay, well, I'm going to create a graphic so I found a compass. I went over to Elements and I searched for a compass. And if you're in education, Canva is free and it gives you access to all the little cool tools. So use it. It's fantastic. So then I go, oh, which one do I like? Oh my goodness, see more. Oh, okay. Anyway, I chose this one. And then I have need to know, excited, or stance for moving forward, right? Let me close this up. Hold on one second. Yeah, I can remember this. That's it. Yeah. Whatever. Oh, there it is. There's that little tiny arrow. My eyes are not that great anymore. So, and for this, I was actually using this with teachers because I'm an instructional coach. So I was saying, okay, well, in our staff meeting, we're going to have small groups. And that's why you can see down here, I got multiple of these boards for groups to hop in and share their thinking so that then we could come back together and have a discussion. So, in terms of using generative AI, this was from, I don't know, a couple years ago, last year, whatever, when things were first hitting the education scene and people go, oh my gosh, I don't know about this. This is crazy. Or some people are like, oh, I don't know, I'm curious. It was one of those great topics for us to dive into. So you'll see I've got some sticky notes up here. It can also be a thing where I'm just going to go and I'm going to drag it down, right? And then I'm going to enlarge, and then I'm going to type my thinking. I'm going to add my text right here, and I'm going to say, I need to know more about how to use AI within certain tools like Canva so that it's easier for me to get something made quickly and so on, okay? But what I love about Canva is this ability to move around, and then as people are hopping on and working together, you can actually see who's doing what. It's so cool. It shows their names as people are moving stuff around and as people are typing, which for teachers, it's like, we want to know who's doing something and who's not doing something, and then who might, I talk to about, okay, it seems like you're stuck. How can I help you? Whatever. So Canva might be an amazing digital tool for you to try out. You should also know in Canva, just the very basics, all right? If you choose to use this tool, you're going to want to create. Now they've got a whole bunch of different thingies down here for you that you could try. I was using Whiteboard, okay? So if I were to choose Whiteboard, here I go, and then I'm searching the templates, and maybe I want it to be a bulletin board blank. All right, so it's giving me some that's got some stuff on it. It's not exactly blank, but I could start from there and see what I want to make. And then once I've got one selected, like let's go with this one. It's a little more empty. All right, and then it's got a bunch of tips and all kinds of stuff, and you can delete those. You don't have to keep them, okay? You can be like, oh my goodness, too much to look at. And you can select it all, and you can go, bye-bye, and it's gone, okay? And then as I'm zooming in here, oh, Team A, Team B, Team C, oh my goodness, and I can zoom in as much as I want to do the things. Oh, so fantastic. So you could have an entire class interacting on one, or you could say, you know what, I'm going to make another copy of this. So I'm going to go down to Pages down here, if it'll let me. Oh, I got to move this. Pages, okay? And then I'm going to say, I want to make a copy of this. So I want to duplicate this page. It's as easy as that. So once you have one set up, you can make another and another and another and another and so on. Elements are the images that you can add, and you just search them up and see what you get. And then text, all right, that's also a cool thing to do. If you want a general text box, you just click on that and it'll pop one in there for you. You see it's super tiny. Oh my goodness, there it is right now. Okay, and you just enlarge it and then add in what you want. You can add links into it. So many different options. I'm not going to get into a whole Canva tutorial here, but just to let you know, there are lots of great options out there. Whether you choose to use paper and pencil or markers. I used to love the little scratch and sniff markers. Kids went wild for those things. I don't know why. They loved the Mr. Sketch markers. It was like a thing. Or you can use a digital tool like this in order to have students collaborating and making their thinking visible, which is the whole point.